Hello, welcome in. This is Galactic Mythology, and I am your host, Lizz Grace. I know I ended my last episode stating that we would explore the asteroid Vesta, but I became fascinated with something while learning about her, and I would really like to share it with you all. You can think of this episode as a bonus episode that I would like to call Mystery Minutes, a segment of my podcast that will appear at random and explore various mysteries that exist within the world. On today's Mystery Minutes episode, we will discuss the 13th Zodiac sign, Ophiuchus. To start the mystery off, I would like to read an excerpt from my favorite book, Asteroid Goddesses by Demetra George and Douglas Block. This excerpt can be found on page 124 in all publications printed in 2003. And it goes like this. In the original zodiacal belt outlined by the Assyrian and Babylonian cultures, Scorpio was symbolized by a serpent and directly followed the sign Virgo. What is today called Libra was contained within the constellation Scorpio and was designated as the Chale, the claws of the scorpion. The Virgo and Scorpio glyphs were similar in design, but contained subtle distinctions. In the Virgo glyph, the M of matter, in parentheses, mother, was turned inward, while Scorpio, the M of matter, in parentheses, mother, was turned outward. Hence her reign of supremacy. The ancient great mother goddess simultaneously manifested as both Virgo, virgin, and Scorpio, consort. For context, the great mother goddess being spoken of in that passage is Hestia, also known in Rome as Vesta. To continue on, only with the ascent of the patriarchal culture was Libra, sign of marriage, placed between Virgo and Scorpio by Greek astronomers whose society created artificial duality in a woman's sexual identity. From then on, a woman was either virgin, chaste, before marriage, in parentheses, Virgo, or a sexual consort after marriage, in parentheses, Scorpio. The recent discovery of Vesta has given us a means of healing this unhealthy split by reuniting the Virgo-Scorpio themes of this archetype. She then goes on to explain how Vesta embodies Virgo and Scorpio, but I'm going to pull away from Vesta now, and I'm going to talk about Ophiuchus and why I feel that this passage reflects Ophiuchus. What really stands out to me in this passage is that it is suggesting that during the time prior and a bit during ancient Greece, there was one less zodiac sign, one less than 12. And what it also suggests is that through the acceptance of the patriarchy, another zodiac sign was accepted into the zodiac wheel, the sign of Libra, marriage. If the people of ancient Greece adapted the zodiac and came to accept one more sign, then what about Ophiuchus today? Will we learn to accept him or it? For those of you who do not know, Ophiuchus is the constellation that is imagined as a man holding a snake, also known as the snake bearer. From a hardcover appearance, you may think that this constellation radiates masculine energy similar to the Orion constellation. However, you would be wrong there. Ophiuchus, at its core, is a balance of male and female energy, which we will explore here in a bit. I would like to touch back on why the passage from Asteroid Goddesses reminds me of Ophiuchus. Another reason is because Ophiuchus is located in between the constellation Sagittarius and Scorpio. In a 13 zodiac sign wheel, Ophiuchus actually swallows up much of Scorpio, reducing it down to less than 10 degrees, making Scorpio the rarest sign of them all in the 13 sign zodiac wheel. I've had a natal chart reading with 13 signs before, and in my natal 13 sign zodiac, I have a Scorpio sun and an Ophiuchus moon. In a 12 sign zodiac wheel, I have an early degree Sagittarius sun and a mid degree Sagittarius moon. Enough about me. Something very special lives within Ophiuchus, and that very special something is the galactic center. To our norm 12-sign zodiac ears, the galactic center rests at the 27th degree of Sagittarius. But to our counterculture 13th sign zodiac ears, the galactic center rests near the end of Ophiuchus within the 18th degree of the sign. Ophiuchus season only lasts about 18 days, falling between the dates of November 29th/30th and going all the way through to December 17th/18th. The way the zodiac wheel gets split into 13 signs is mind-boggling, and perhaps the biggest deterrent to modern astrologers when it comes to accepting the sign into our popular zodiac. With 13 signs, we cannot clearly split the zodiac up into 6 neat little pairs. The idea of polarity gets watered down with an odd number of signs in the zodiac wheel. But as Demetra George alludes to in her passage from Asteroid Goddesses, there was a time where there wasn't 12 zodiac signs. And from the words that she used in her passage, this time of one less, perhaps 11 zodiac signs, was a time where the asteroid goddesses and the mortal women had complete control over their sexuality. Ophiuchus is a snake bearer. The man in the constellation is Asclepius, the gifted god and healer who was raised and studied under the great teacher Chiron. Asclepius is linked to the dark feminine goddess Gorgon, Medusa. In mythology, he is known to use her blood that flows from the right side of her to heal and resurrect many beings. Scorpio, before Greece, was imagined as a snake. Ophiuchus radiates the embodiment of the regenerative energy of a snake. I see Ophiuchus as the rebirth of Scorpio, perhaps even its final stage, known as the eagle. As I mentioned earlier, Scorpio gets reduced down to about less than 10 degrees. And I would guess that Scorpio in the 13 sign system only takes up about 7 degrees. And Ophiuchus, as mentioned earlier, is at about 18 degrees, with the galactic center resting on its last degree. Now, I have to state that I am not a trained 13 sign zodiac astrologer. So please take my degree statements as approximations. The 13 sign zodiac reading I got was a printed report, and I did not have the ability to speak directly to the person who created it. I would like to call in a trained and practicing 13 sign astrologer. If that is you, please get in contact with me via my website, www.galacticmythology.com. I would love to chat details with you. Anyways, from my research and through studying my own natal chart in the 13th zodiac format, all of the signs and degrees get shifted to numbers that are not always divisible by 10. In the zodiac wheel with 12 signs, each sign takes up 30 degrees of space. Each zodiacal season in the 12 sign system exists for about 30 days. 30 days out of our 365-day year. In the 13th zodiac sign wheel, signs like Aquarius and Libra have about 23 degrees of space, and signs like Taurus, Pisces, and Virgo get greatly expanded. Taurus gets bumped up to 38 degrees, Pisces goes to 39, and Virgo gets a whopping 45 degrees. From some recent digging, I discovered that the degrees designated to each sign in the 13 sign zodiac wheel actually reflect the true nature of the sun as it passes through the constellations above our heads. That is to say, in the IRL, or in other words, real life. The sun actually never spends a clean 30 days in each sign, as calculated by the 12 sign tropical zodiac. It spends a differing amount of time in each constellation. For example, it spends about a month and a half in Virgo, that's the 45 degrees from earlier, and about a week in Scorpio, hence reflecting the 7 degrees. What I will end with is this. We all have collectively agreed to split the zodiac into 12 signs and into 6 neat pairs of opposites. If we hone in on how the sun actually progresses through the constellations in the IRL, real life, Ophiuchus and the 13th zodiac sign is actually more relevant and yet incredibly mind-boggling. Ophiuchus suggests a shift in consciousness, just like Libra did back in the early days of antiquity. This time, we will be shifting into a more unified form of thought, one that has evolved from polarity. Share with me your thoughts. Please like, share, comment, and subscribe. That's the only way more people can find this work. And I would love to conjure up an engaging discussion on Ophiuchus and other fascinating topics in the future. You can book a reading with me via my website, www.galacticmythology.com. And with that, I'll catch you in the next one. Thank you. Have a great one out there. Bye.